Last episode, we left off completing our first ever Deathless level 500 invocation in ToA for the kit. It took 2 attempts in normal trios and a total of 123 KC. Along the way, we also saw a Fang as our first purple, which is pretty much best case scenario, and of course Missouri Chaps, a nice upgrade for the Tbow. Now that we have the drip on our Fang, we need more purples. 10 raids later, in freezing cold 420 chiller trios, I got my next purple. A light bearer. This ring is the cheapest item here, however, it is actually good. Currently, we camp an ultra ring. However, when ranging or maging, we have no ring. Now we have a light bearer to heal our spec 2 times faster. I'd say about 99% of the raids so far have been in teams. The reason is that it is significantly easier to learn in teams, and if you've ever personally done ToA, you would know that when doing this content, it is significantly easier to grind with other people than solo. I mentioned this last video, but remember, grinding ToA is different from any other boss. Most bosses you just kill as quick as possible for the fastest drop rate. However, ToA is all about finding that middle ground. Drop rates are always increased the higher the invocation level. However, there's always that want of finding the sweet spot where you don't mind raiding 8 hours a day for the most amount of completions. If you push too high of a level and end up wiping even 1 out of 10 raids, it was already not worth upping the level. So, starting off with a solo 375, just because I have no idea what I'm going up against, as you can see from my inventory, I have way too many supplies. So we could probably lower that and then push 400 with no issues. That was also my 150th KC flat. And it's a purple! Only 7% chance too. Uh-oh, now starts the dupes. Adding only 25 invocation to our solo gave us an extra 2%. Now we get 9% per solo, doing 400s. 201 KC now, and yet another purple. Oh, another Eladina sword. I actually forgot that I had a ward this early, because I have not been bringing them into these raids. My mindset was that I only made during Akka and P2 wardens, because Trident sucks. And because of the minimal mage use, I value the extra restore. However, in hindsight, knowing it's a 7% DPS difference at both of those places, I definitely should have started bringing it ASAP. I'm still doing tons of team raids when the boys are on. I think given that I do less DPS in these might be about 5% worse than solo 400s. However, given the long-term vibes and grind, I much prefer it. So yes, I am willingly doing something that I know is slightly slower. This duo 460, for example, 33-minute completion, and if you take the points, 19.7 out of 44.5k, it is 9.3% in my name. Slightly better than solos. A nice fun thing that I learned about Z-Back in teams is that if someone stands on the row 2 tiles from Z-Back, you can melee him without being worried of tanking a melee hit. It makes it nice and simple to drop 4 Voidwaker specs. Okay, that was 100% my fault. Good thing Enjoys is here to clutch. Especially because even including that death, we still got a purple in our name. It's a light bearer. So unfortunately, as a full-time YouTuber, I lost about 4 days worth of clips right before this clip. I did get a Missouri body though, so all we are really missing is the Shadow and Missouri mask at this point. I wanted a small break from ToA, so we geared up and decided to hunt some black chins. I have a Missouri top and bottom now, but I have not fortified anything. In order to fortify my Missouri, I need armadillo pieces to break down and add to it. This means that we have to kill Kree. There are 2 realistic ways to kill Kree long term. The best way being using a Shadow. Unfortunately, a Shadow is 150 hours on drop rate, and we just sat in ToA for about 130 and have not gotten one yet. So I'm going to try the second best way to kill Kree, which is black chins. This gives me a good excuse to do some skilling as well, which is a nice break after tons of PVM. 24 million Hunter XP done. I'm shocked I'm already this high Hunter XP. I've only done a small amount of black chins I think. But I remember testing contracts after I maxed, And of course I do birdhouse runs whenever I have the time for it. I guess their birdhouse XP really just adds up. Black chins are a lot more chill than I remember. You might notice that I have my hunter outfit on, which adds about 8k an hour XP. We are chilling right now and casually getting 286k an hour. Before hunter contracts existed, I remember seeing PKers here all the time. Now, most of the people I see are just level 60 bots trying to hunt, or the level 80 PKers trying to kill those bots. I have seen 1 or maybe 2 level 120s during this session, but I think majority of them aren't really looking to waste their time attacking people with bulwarks. It should be very hard to kill me right now given the tankier plus bulwark. Nice little 1000 black chins without being attacked. I've been able to consistently run a handful of these, only being attacked 1 to 2 times over a total of 3 mil XP. Despite having the Missouri top, I think Carol's top is better here because of the defense bonus. Kree took me a bit to get used to. It could be a very annoying boss because of the unavoidable damage. The shadow would get rid of all of these issues, but I said this earlier, I deserved a small TOA break. In case you are unfamiliar, the mindset of chinning here is simple. When we attack with our chins, we hit the minions. This means the chance of hitting rolls off the minion's defense, not Kree. If we were to throw the chin at Kree, we'd probably almost always hit zeros. The AoE of the chin, of course, hits Kree himself because he's under, and that's how we deal our damage to the boss. When we are actively trying to attack Kree, he won't be able to melee us, which is why we have to re-click him for every tick we are not throwing the chin. So throw the chin on the minion, attack/look at Kree until the next chin is ready, and then re-click the minion and repeat. That was my 50th kill, which means we are now a Kree'arra adept. Most kills, the minion should be dead way before Kree, so we have to lure Kree over to the major so that we can start chinning the major. This can sometimes be tricky, and you'll mindlessly just take damage while waiting for Kree to come on over. The biggest reason why I use Bruise here. And I almost never use Bruise during PVM. A lot of kills you'll use no food or health here, then randomly 1 kill you'll take 20 damage back 3 back. And remember, if you die here, it's game over for your chins. You don't save them on death. After 2 minions are dead, if the boss is still not dead, I just whip out my Tbow to kill it. Sometimes the melee will respawn before it dies, and that's actually usually a good thing, because it gives me more health to heal with Blood Barrage. When killing any God Wars dungeon boss, we always have to have a kill count before entering. With elite CAs, I need at least 30. So instead of tellying out and having to get kill count again after each trip, the best way to restock at Kree is to actually leave the room and go to the next room. Then get 30 KC here and use the next bank and repeat. This way, we keep our armor KC the whole time, and we don't need to get that or another ecunemical key to enter the room. Assuming we are killing the majors, each one is worth 5 kill count, so we only need to kill 6 before we can access the bank. Basically, we are here, we started having armor KC. Now, we are not allowed to leave, ever. Ideally, we could do a full 5 to 8 hour session, if not even longer. The nice thing about fortifying Missouri is that even if we get dupes of a certain piece, it can still be beneficial, since any piece can be broken down. So, any Armado piece, give me the chest, legs, helm, it's only 1 in 128 for any, we got this. Kree'arra Veteran, 100 kills, no drops. 128 KC, I am officially dry here. This is not good. Whoa! Yo, let's go! Dragon boots were not expected. I forgot these could even drop them. But this is huge because I've been using prims for Recluse step that required dragon boots, and I couldn't store the mustache unit because obviously I need the prims. However, now I can store the dragon boots. Just take a nice break from TOA, they said. It'll be so fun to switch things up, they said. 200 kills, nothing. I think I'm ready to return to TOA. This was long enough of a trip. I decided to do some clogging. There's a pet transmog for each room in TOA, and in order to clog the transmog, we need to have at least level 450 of the raid, and more specifically, we need that room to be a level 4 when we enter it. To do this, we need to enable path invocations we wouldn't normally play on, and also do bosses in a different order so that it levels up to level 4. For example, Baba is usually almost always done first. However, for the Baba transmog, We had to enter Baba 4th in order to be level 4. That is one clog out of the way though. At this point, we really do better off just doing solo 400s when we have no team on, instead of going back to Arma without a shadow. Up to 312 kill count now. I get asked a lot how I do Akka without a shadow, and there are tiles for a 4-tick butterfly in the tile packs plugin. However, it can be really slow and annoying to kill shadows with the trident, so when they are up, I just run far away and blowpipe them. I'll face tank Akka for a bit, and if he doesn't switch, I'll go back to butterflying. If he does switch, I just melee or range him for a bit. I never did an official DPS calc on this, but I'm fairly sure trident is the slowest DPS against him anyway, so when we range or melee him, it doesn't necessarily lose me time. Just supplies since we have to heal, which is perfectly fine since every other room needs no HP assuming no mistakes. I forgot my arrows, so now I'm stuck blowpiping Z back. 4 minutes and 42 seconds. That is so bad. Average for this room in the 400s is about 3 minutes, maybe 3.5 if I have really bad RNG. This also unfortunately means no normal P3 and 4 wardens. Our best in slot here is now a Fang, so we're going to be meleeing him this run. One other thing that I actually never spoke about in both solos and teams is skull skipping. What is it and why is it useful? Every 20% HP, the warden will summon out skulls, which we have to attack or they will explode. If we hit all of the skulls, the explosion hits the warden, doing a substantial amount of damage. Every damage done to the warden is less damage we do to it with our weapon. Points are scaled very simply in ToA, and I get more points simply if I deal more damage. And Warden is the highest multiplier in the entire raid, meaning this is where we get our most points. So instead, when skulls spawn, we can just ignore them and stand on the side tiles. On the same tick they explode, we have to walk into the arena. This way, Warden takes no extra damage and we dodge the explosion, leaving more points for us. If we are off by even 1 tick though, we do explode and take 120 damage, so it's an insta-death. The only way it isn't an insta-death is if we attack every skull except for 1, which is worth doing in teams, but in my opinion, they explode so much faster in solos that it's not even worth it. Just simply don't misclick, right? So now, time for our first ever full melee and rage phase. Good luck! I'm going to drop 4 Voidwakers on his forehead in hopes of ending this sooner rather than later. Oh man, that is so cursed. I missed a time by 2 ticks. Now I lost 30 invo levels. I didn't think of it, but I shouldn't have skull skipped if the time was close. Got rewarded with a purple anyway, alright. Chaps, unlucky. In some weird way, I don't really want a shadow on a scuffed raid like this. The purples don't feel as rewarding or deserved when something goes wrong, and even worse, especially when I die in a duo. I'm still missing a Masori mask and shadow though, so it's not like we're only hunting the shadow. 3 raids later, a quick 4:15 27-minute duo. Another purple. Not in my name though. But it was more chaps. Exactly another 3 raids later, it rains yet again, this time in my name. Dang it, a word. Oh, whoa! Dude! I need this. Oh my god. Pay range. Oh my god, I'm alive. No, you died? No. I normally cap my raids to 3 people for purple chance, However, we are currently not going to go for purples. We have 8 gamers online right now, so we are going to attempt the Grandmaster CA task, completing an expert raid within 18 minutes. I don't have a shadow, which isn't really ideal, but everything else is good. Apparently in these, we're supposed to do Z-back first. My only role in these is to BGS everything and make them 0 defense. Other than that, I just play the raid normal. We have a dedicated red Karis person, and when that hits, everyone hits 15% higher temporarily, which allows ZCBs to hit 137s instead of 110s. Z-back has fallen over in 1 minute and 37 seconds. Now on to Kefri. One other role that I forgot I had, in the Kefri puzzle room, you need only 2 out of 8 people to do the final bit, otherwise it becomes a mess. Enjoys and I got that job, which we are thankfully used to because of our duos. 40 seconds, honestly not that great. Trusting 8 people to place dung properly, even including myself, is not viable or realistic. Other than that, this room has been smooth. 1 minute 53 second Kefri room, alright. Akka was exactly like normal, just 8 people attacking instead of 1 or 2. Everything just falls right over, 2 minute and 18 second room. Monkey room was pretty humorous. This is not organized at all, we're all just kind of attacking whatever, but it's so fast compared to normal. Oh man, 8 boulders falling at once is also so cursed. It threw me off so bad getting hit by someone's boulder there. In teams of 3+, Baba does go after the person with the lowest HP, assuming it wasn't already on them before it phased. I'm shocked I didn't die here, but we're good. 1 minute and 18 seconds. It's also worth it to take life over double power, since we have enough salt for the whole raid anyway from the first one. And the ambrosia probably will be useful with 8 people doing P3 and 4. 20% health left on the warden, and we already have 2 people dead. Only 51 seconds remain. We probably could have made this if we had 8 people attacking the whole time, but no chance now. Can you really blame them though? There are so many boulders to dodge. Dang, I got the master time, but 24 seconds off Grandmaster. Next time for sure. Purple chance is shockingly really low in these, but I guess that's just the reality of 300s. Running it back, attempt number 2. .80 second Kefri puzzle room. This is my second ever sub 35 of this room. It has to be the run. Only 5 seconds faster on that Kefri room. I feel like that room and P3 and 4 were our biggest time losses last raid, and given that we only saved 5 seconds here, hopefully we have a better P3 and 4. 2 minutes remaining with 60% health left. We still have all 8 men alive. We can do this. No, our first death. Death number 2, but he stayed long enough. I think this is it. We did it! 4 seconds off. Honestly, I'm impressed this only took 2 tries. I've heard horror stories about this CA, but we just grabbed whoever we found in the stream chat and full sent it with 0 prep whatsoever. Back to the same old purple grind. I decided to send some newbie duo 400s. My duo and myself obviously don't have a shadow, so there's not really a reason to push higher invos than 400 to 415 with tridents. The raid just becomes too long at that point. We did, however, get a purple and in my name. More chaps, just what I needed. Raid number 350 exactly, another purple. And another Masori body, just what I needed. When it rains, it pours. 355 KC. White Bearer. I always said let's find a number we get comfy at, and we've been there, but we're almost 20 purples in now. I want to go higher. I decided to send some duo 500s with enjoys, and we end the raid at 26% chance of a purple. That is insanely good for a 36 to 37 minute raid, and I get about 11 to 12% of that in my name. That's more efficient than solos. Oh my god, it's another purple in my name! Wait, that's actually big! I got Masuri Mask. We are officially only missing a shadow from this place. For the remaining grind, we now have full Masuri to make us stronger in the raid. This seems like a great stopping point for today's video. So, as always, TY for watching everybody, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Peace out.